Hi, you guys. So I know I am not here today, but what I need you to do is take out this assignment, similar figures and scale factor assessment. You should have been handed that by the sub when you first came in, but that's what we are going to be working on together today. So I'm going to help get you started, and we're going to work on a few things together, and then you'll have an assignment at the end of this. So please make sure that you are paying attention and that as I am doing this assignment that you are following along and also doing yours. Okay, so for question number 1, it says, what is the scale factor from A to B? Now remember, scale factor is something that you learned about in the video yesterday, and the scale factor is what the shape either increases by, so enlarges, or reduces by, or gets smaller. Okay, so what is the scale factor from A to B? Now we can see that shape A and shape B, they are exactly the same shape. They're just different sizes. And so we want to know how much bigger is shape B than shape A. By what was it enlarged? Okay, so in order to do this, let's figure out what the dimensions are of shape A. So shape A is a 2 by, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's a 2 by 7. Okay, and then shape B is a 1, 2, 3, 4 by, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. And it is a 4 by 14. Okay, so if shape A is 2 by 7 and shape B is 4 by 14, we have to figure out what shape B was enlarged by. So to get from 2 to 4, we multiplied by 2. To get from 7 to 14, we multiplied by 2. So the scale factor from A to B would be 2. Now the scale factor from B to A, okay? So if we are going from B to A, you can see that we had to divide by 2 on each of these. So this was timesing by 2. This one was dividing by 2. And another way of saying divided by 2 is multiplying by 1/2. Okay, so dividing by 2 or multiplying by 1/2, that's the same. So the scale factor from B to A would be 1/2. Because to go from B to A, we divided by 2. Now, how do the perimeters compare? So remember, perimeters is the distance around the outside. So if this is 2 and this is 7, this is also 2 and this is also 7. If we have 4 and 14, this is also 4, this is also 14. So to find the perimeter, we find the distance around the outside. So 7 plus 2 plus 7 plus 2. So 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Okay, the perimeter would be 18. This one would be 14 plus 4 is 18. So this one is 36. So how do the perimeters compare? Well, to go from 18 to 36, we had to times by 2. To go from 36 to 18, we had to divide by 2, which is the same thing as multiplying by 1/2. So let's go ahead and look at the next question. It says, take a look at the areas of the rectangles. So I'm going to go ahead and just create some space over here. Remember, to find area of a rectangle, it's length times width. So if we want to find the area of the rectangle that is a 2 by 7, that area would be 14. Okay, to find the area of the rectangle that is a 4 by 14, that would be 56. Now we don't exactly know what units these are, so we are just going to say the units, whatever they are, would be squared for area. Now let's compare these. If we are going from shape A to shape B, it looks like we have to times by 4. Okay, so for the areas, so this one's 14 units squared, and this one is 56 units squared. Okay, so to go from 14 to 56, we times by 4, and to go from B to A, we divided by 4, which is the same thing as multiplying by 1/4. So the area of this one is 1/4 the size of the area of this one. Okay, so let's just review all of the things that we just did here, okay? When you are finding scale factor, remember the figures need to be similar. That means they have to be the same shape, just different sizes, okay? And the scale factor from A to B, we know that B is twice as big as A. And the scale factor from B to A, we know that A is 1/2 as big as B. Okay, and then when we compared the perimeters, we found that the perimeter of shape B was twice as big as the perimeter of shape A. And we also found that the perimeter of shape A was 1/2 as big as the perimeter of shape B. And when we looked at the areas, we realized that the area, to get from the area of shape A to the area of shape B, we had to multiply by 4. So the area was 4 times as big to go from A to B, and it was 1/4 as big to go from B to A. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at the next part. So for the next part, you can see we have 2 similar figures again, figures that are the same shape, only different sizes. If they are similar, that means that their sides are going to be proportional. Number 6 says, what is the scale factor from A to B? So we can see that if we go from A to B, B is smaller than A. So we want to figure out by how much. So let's first find the dimensions of A. So A is 15 by 15. And B is 3 by 3. Okay, so to go from A to B, we know that A is a 15 by 15, and if we want to go to B, B is a 3 by 3. So to get from 15 to 3, we had to divide by 5, and dividing by 5 is the same thing as timesing by 1/5. So B is 1/5 of A. It's 1/5 of the size of A. And now if we look at the scale factor from B to A, well, B is a 3 by 3. And if we want to go from B to A is a 15 by 15, we had to multiply by 5. So to go from B to A, we had to multiply by 5, so the scale factor from B to A would be 5. The next part, how do the perimeters compare? Okay, so remember the perimeter is the distance around the outside. So we have a 15, 15, this is also 15, and this is also 15. So for shape A, the perimeter is 60, and it would just be 60 units. And then for shape B, we have a smaller square here, 3 by 3 by 3 by 3, and the perimeter is 12 units. So when we're comparing the perimeters, we can see that to get from shape A's perimeter to shape B's perimeter, we had to divide by 5, which is the same thing as timesing by 1/5. So the perimeter of shape B is 1/5. So to go from A to B, we know that that is 1/5 for the perimeters. And then to go from B to A, we can see that we had to times by 5. So from B to A, we would times by 5. Now let's go ahead and look at the areas. So the area for shape A, remember to find area, it's length times width. So 15 times 15 would be 225. Sorry, I wrote that wrong. 225 units squared. And for area B, the area of square B, that one is a 3 by 3, so that is 9 units squared. So the area of square A is 225 units squared, and the area of square B is 9 units squared. Okay, so to go from A to B, as far as areas are concerned, 225 to 9, and that is multiplying by 25. And then to go from B to A, we would have 9 to 225. Oh, sorry. Okay, sorry about that. So to go from 225 to 9, we would be dividing by 25, okay, which is the same thing as multiplying by 1/25, and some of you were probably thinking I was crazy for just a minute. And then to go from B to A, we would be going from 9 to 225, so we would be timesing by 25. Now let's go ahead and talk about the answers that we got for number 4 and for number 9, okay? When we are talking about the areas and the perimeters, the scale factor of the perimeters is the same. But the scale factor of the areas is not the same. It is actually the area squared, okay? So when we look at the scale factor from A to B, and that was 2, to go from the area A to B, if we do 2 squared, that gives us our 4, okay? And to go from 14 to 56, we had to times by 4. If we look at the scale factor from B to A, that was 1/2, and if we square 1/2, that's going to give us 1/4. And to go from B to A, we had to times by 1/4. So let's go ahead and look at this one. The scale factor from A to B was 1/5. And we know that when we went from A to B as far as the areas go, we had to multiply by 1/25. And to go from B to A, we had to times by 25. Okay, so scale factors of the perimeters is the same, but the scale factors of the area is the scale factor squared. That will give you the scale factor of the area. Okay, so what I want you to do for the remainder of the class period is you are going to finish this assignment and then you are going to work on your ALEKS assignment, scale factor number 2. So let's go ahead and go through. I want to make sure that you know how to do each of these. It says use colored pencils to create all the shapes below on graph paper. Label and color each one as directed. And then it says using shape A, draw a similar shape using a scale factor of 6. Label the new shape B and color it blue. So your new shape B is going to go right here. So basically what you're going to do is if you have this side is 3 and this side is 2 and this side is 1 and this is 1 and this is 2 and this is 1. You have to multiply all of those by 6. Okay, so if you're using shape A, you're going to draw a similar shape using a scale factor of 6. So everything has to enlarge by 6. For number 12, you're going to use shape A and you're going to draw a similar shape using a scale factor of 3. So that means that all of these numbers right here, the 1, the 3, the 2, the 1, the 1, the 2, every single one of those would have to get multiplied by 3 to enlarge the shape. Okay, so for these two, your shapes are going to get bigger by the scale factor given. For 13, it says using shape A, draw a similar shape using a scale factor of 1/2. And I want to help you with this one a little bit. So if you're using a scale factor of 1/2, that means you're going to take the numbers that you are given here and you are going to multiply them by 1/2, which is the same thing as dividing by 2. Okay? And so if your scale factor is a fraction, your shape is going to get smaller. So if we take 3 and divide by 2, that's going to be a 1.5. And if we take 1 and divide by 2, that's going to be a 0.5. And if we take 2 and divide by 2, that's going to be a 1. And if you take 1 and divide by 2, that's going to be a 0.5 here. If you take a 1 and divide by 2, that's going to be a 0.5 here. And then your 2 divided by 2 would give you a 1 here. Okay, so this is what you are placing on D. Okay, so if you're going to do 1.5, and I'm just going to show you. So this would be 1 and then another half. Let me do that a little straighter. So this would be 1 and then another half. That would be 1.5. And then this needs to be a 1, and then this needed to be a half, and this needed to be a half, this needed to be a 1, and then this needed to be a half. Okay, so notice how your shape D gets really little, and I wanted to help you with that one. So what I need you to do is finish number 11, finish number 12, and then you are doing the ALEKS assignment that is called scale factor number 2.